Alright. So we're live. All. I know what that means. Chainsaw. Yep. Cha-ching. Lumberjack trophy. Awesome. So, I just beat Silent Hill 2, obviously, for the first time. It only took me a few days, obviously, because I've been working so damn hard. I've been volunteering a lot of OT. Even though I kind of didn't want the OT, I wanted time to really delve into this game. I gotta say, this remake is a 10 out of 10. There's my review. Simple as that. Though, I do wish that there was some character customization. Yeah, no, I do wish that there was, like, the original jacket. I wish there was outfit swaps for Maria and the other characters, you know, obviously. So I actually have it set to the original game, or the original setup here.
Anyone in here?
And I do have it on VHS mode. It's crazy, there's a key item from a drawer that like never happens in this game, like ever. It's mostly ammo you find in drawers. But yeah, I'm just gonna breeze right through. So the ending I got was the Leave ending. This time we're gonna go for the Maria ending and then Underwater. Then we'll go for the Rebirth ending. The Rebirth ending, you have to collect some extra items we're not gonna collect. So this would be the original battle location, and I'm sorry that I streamed this game a few days ago. Obviously, I could not get my mic audio to work, which sucked that happened the way that it did. But the truth be told, I actually just did not know how to. So, the original chainsaw was kind of this lumbering weapon, kind of similar to the great knife. You know, the great knife was an actual weapon that you can use, and this it's a key item. Sorry to spoil that for you guys in the labyrinth, but no, man, I definitely do appreciate the lack of excessive weapons, because by the end of the game, cycling between your weapons was kind of a pain in the ass. They made it 3 guns, which was like the original. You know, I like the way they rework some of the bosses. You know, I gotta say, Blooper Team really went all out with this remake. I truly think. Here's my big thing, my big thesis, rather, so to speak. People started talking shit about this remake because they heard those all too famous words with modern audiences in mind. Now, granted, I get how that sounds. It comes off like they're going to make this game not for the fans, but for newcomers, and even so, I'd still buy it and play it. But nah, they kept us OGs in mind, and you know, they did not disrespect us by no means. We got a completely good game with hardly any issues. A fun game, a game that I am doing a repeat playthrough on because I love this game, and a game that made me buy a PS5. This is the only reason this game, I'm sitting down, I have bought 3 games for this PS5. All of them survival horror. I bought the Callisto Protocol, Resident Evil 4, which I already owned a copy of Resident Evil 4. But oh, that classic music.
Hey, wait.
I think that this is just spectacular that we are getting this type of fan service. I really cannot wait to see what Blooper Team has in store for us next. So as it turns out, Born from a Wish is not included after beating the game. So I hope that they release it like a DLC, because if so, it gives them some time to expand and try new things with the Silent Hill game. And you know, obviously, you know, this is one of the most anticipated games ever. So I am buying a second copy of this game to keep it factory sealed, PSA rated 10. You know, only just because it's like
Hello?
so you know, I definitely want to play more games by Blooper Team, particular Layers of Fear, and this new game that they got coming out, which is like a Dead Space type of vibe. Holy shit. Early game, no flashlight. Don't worry, we get it at the apartments. First, real significant save point. Classic radio, they kept it the same. I like that. So, obviously, we didn't have to do anything, we just... That's right, ladies and gents, we are gonna breeze. That would be a line figure. No, I'm gonna keep this clear and simple for you folks. This game does a lot of things right. One thing I wish they would do is actually more of that radio shit with Mary. I wish that was in the game more often, at least 2 or 3 more times. Because we do obviously get it towards the end of the game, but it would have been kind of cool as just a subtle reminder as to why we're suffering this pain, this journey of pain. This game is perfect. This game is 10 out of 10. Now, I always thought that ooh, look at that, hidden item. Missed out on my first playthrough. I always thought that, you know, door ain't gonna open. I gotta go back around. Now, obviously, you know, we were taking our time with our first playthrough. This time, we're not. We're just sort of, we're quick sprinting our way through this, because we want to. I want to get the Maria ending. Is what I really want to get. I really want to see how they do it. I want to see what it's all about this time around. I want this VHS style because, fun fact, the TV I used for my PS2 to play this game originally was this old, nasty, stupid TV that would be very staticky and buzzy, and the audio would never sound, well, the audio sounded perfect because it sounded just enough unsettling, buzzy audio, and just the whole, oh my god, dude, this is classic. The graphics of this game are beautiful, they're outstanding. I really give Bloober Team props. They really went all out for us, and they gave us a game they took time to make, and I'm glad they did, because, you know, if they didn't take time to make this game, then I think I'd actually be genuinely pissed. But no, they took the time, they put in the work. They took their time. They hurried up. I'm just playing. I ain't gonna pull no Nirvana on you guys. No, but they did a really good job. I was in general just utterly surprised that they did such a good job with this game. I didn't know really what to expect because, I mean, there was so much. There was so much that could have gone wrong. When life is filled with nothing but despair, people choose to end it all. Oh my gosh, that's gonna give me the underwater ending. I'll focus on all this stuff later. But the real thing you guys want to hear is, what do I rate this out of 10? Believe it or not, I rate this a perfect 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Exceeded expectations, kept it professional, changed just the right amount of stuff, actually had a bunch, and I mean a bunch of callbacks to the original puzzles. Exclusively left there without any real meaning or purpose. You just sort of stumble across them, and then you click the interaction button, and it hints at the way that the old original puzzle was. For instance, in the prison, you see the wax doll, the lighter, and the horseshoe, and it's in the same spot it would have been. But you just look at it, it makes a weird sound, and it registers that you've acknowledged it and seen it. The thing is, people like me know where to unlock those items and where they were in the original game and what purpose that they served. So, stand over a body for a while. Is he gonna do the chainsaw scream? Oh, he does a chainsaw pose. He doesn't do the the chainsaw scream. Now, like a lot of people have been wondering, will Blooper Team remake Silent Hill 1? And if they do, will they keep original fans in mind, just like they did here? Will SH1 receive the same treatment SH2 got during its remake? And the real answer is they better, is the proper answer. But more importantly, I think they will, because they have been very kind to us, and they've been very considerate to us, SH2 fans, and they've crafted a pretty good game. And it's kind of interesting, though, for them to expand Silent Hill 1. There's a lot that have to change to make it acceptable by today's standards. What I mean by acceptable is, like, the OG scares, the horror. Silent Hill 1 really wasn't that scary. I mean, yeah, back in the day, yeah, it was. And I can't lie to you, for 1990s game, 1999, a late 90s game, it really, I mean, when I say this, man, I mean this with full respect in mind, it still holds up to this day, for it being so old. I am just proud to say that it still holds up. You know, Silent Hill 1 is definitely one of the best PlayStation 1 games. One of the best games of all time, and obviously it gave birth to one of the best franchises of all time. You know, so I am definitely super proud that they have done this, that they have come out and that they have honestly made this spectacular remake. I mean, this thing is spectacular. I mean, it's just, to me, holy shit, man. And to me, this remake is 10 out of 10, no doubt in my mind. Now, obviously, I beat the game on medium difficulty with medium puzzle difficulty. I'm simply going on the easier difficulty here just to develop a speedrun strategy. Not so much to cheese the game, but also to see how quickly I can get to and from places now that I know what I know. Yeah, the absolutely zero interaction thing is going to throw me off. Yeah, I like the sense of exploration at the beginning. I'm glad they extended this sequence before the apartments. I'm glad they give us a pretty open area to explore and to fuck around with. Honestly, probably the best part of this game is this opening sequence, and then everything after this is just a constant upgrade. You motherfucker. Motherfucker. That does not. Oh my god, actually, it does kind of look like James Sunderland. And look at him. Hold on a minute. Let me. Settings. Hold on a minute. Display and graphics. Look at that. He's actually wearing a similar jacket to James. It's actually kind of creepy. You will see. Sooner or later, you will see. Feels like we're gonna get the underwater ending. So I got the leave ending, and I gotta say, it was quite beautiful. She does it. Hold on. Okay. Here's the real question, right? We quit the game entirely. Let's sit here and let's wait. Let's see if they do the famous cutscene, because they kept that in the game. This game gets an official 10 out of 10. I don't care. I don't need to play it a second time to know this game's perfect. I mean, seriously, there's a few minor glitches that every game has a few minor glitches here and there. Game breaking, no. No, because the developers are smart enough to put good checkpoints to avoid getting permanently stuck in certain areas, because that was a concern, that I'd be permanently stuck, because towards the end of the game I had managed to find a small, tiny, invisible. I clipped out of an area that you're not supposed to be in by complete accident, and it's nothing too significant, but it's literally rather that I didn't clip out of anywhere I wasn't supposed to be. It's just so much so a cutscene had triggered, and my character was inspecting an item, but was also moving at the same time. And my character was moving while inspecting the item somehow, and got clipped into an area where the game would not register him to move or anything like that. So I had to then, quit out the game and reload, and it checkpointed me right towards that area. I had just got through a hard, difficult area, because I had kept the part in the end where, spoiler alert, James has to surrender his weapons, and okay, they did not keep that cutscene in the original game. If you just stood still, didn't touch your controller or nothing, that it would actually play that special cutscene. If they kept it frame for frame and just redid it to some of the new areas and the new cutscenes with the new dialogue, and they did the newer version of Theme of Laura, I think this game would be perfect 10 out of 10. Perfect. Actually, it would be 15 out of 10, because this was still a good game. But I'm glad they kept certain sequences, and I gotta say, this is a solid title. The only things I did not like were some of the facial animations, and it would have been really, really cool if they added a new area that was not in the original game. I mean, they added tons of new areas and redone old areas with new rooms and new locations and whatever else, right? But it would have been really cool if they added a new level. So much so. One of the things, spoiler territory. Man, I cannot wait to do the full in-depth review, because I want to talk about Abstract Daddy, which is one of the most disturbing enemies in Silent Hill. They redone him because he was just a regular enemy that would spawn quite often in the final moments of the original Silent Hill 2. They did him just a single boss fight, and they did the same thing with Flesh Lips. And here's one minor complaint I have about the final boss. It's basically the Flesh Lips boss fight towards the middle section of that boss fight, just with a few added moves, extra damage, and obviously more intensity in a much different arena, allowing more room for James to maneuver, but also the thing has the ability to teleport and do strange ranged attacks, and it's far more versatile in its attacks than Flesh Lips. So, granted, no big deal. But there is something we have to talk about, and that would be Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head, I felt like if they added one new area and had to have a lot of sequences with Pyramid Head, Laura, Angela, and Eddie, and no Maria, I would feel like that would be pretty freaking cool. As well as having there be more sections where Mary is attempting to communicate with James via the radio. It would have been really cool if after the end of each area, that we would get a slightly less distorted audio version of her final message to indicate to the player that we are getting closer and closer to the end of the journey. That would have been really, really cool, but I respect they didn't do that because they didn't do that in the original. And also, I mean, there's a lot of things that could have went wrong. There's a lot of things they shoulda, coulda, woulda, but they did not do that. They stuck true to the original, and they weren't concerned about adding a bunch of new bullshit to the game either. They were really just concerned about taking locations that existed, right? And here's the thing. I'm going to say something that may God forgive me for saying this. Silent Hill 2, the original game, had dog shit graphics. Yeah, for the time they were fucking spectacular, they were awesome, they were top of the line. But going back and looking at the game, it's hard to tell really what the fuck certain things were. I mean, like, I don't know, like certain walls or textures, they just sort of blend in a lot of the same color. And, you know, the shading and everything just sort of looked like it was just, like the texturing was kind of bad. And because of all that, the combination, it was really difficult, and it was easy to miss key items or certain details that in this 3D world, okay, they were able to fully realize that image, that idea, that concept, and they've detailed it to an immaculate extent. Granted, these graphics are probably going to age, I want to say they're going to age probably like about an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for the next 4 years. So this game will definitely be looked at pretty fondly for a while. PS5 was missing key titles that I was just not interested in, and this game took a long time to release. So fun fact, timeline-wise, how long I've waited for this game. It's quite a while. I think I want to say close to like 3 years, maybe 2.5 years, roughly. It's hard to gauge the timeline, going on 3 years now. But I was working at Ace Hardware at the time, probably my second year at Ace Hardware, before I became a landscaper. And, you know, I had mustered up the courage, well, rather not the courage, but the funds to afford a physical copy of Silent Hill 2. And, you know, one of my big, you know, projects I started was, you know, classic gaming. Because when I had turned 18 years old or whatever, I had gotten a PS2. I wanted a PS2 and not a PS5. It's so crazy. I made a actual video, or, you know, on my channel, where I'm like, hey, it's my birthday, I got a PS2. Awesome. Okay. That day I felt so great because now it's like I'm experiencing PS2 games again. It's bringing me back to my childhood. I was preserving my childhood is what my goal was to do. Now I'm an adult. I live on my own. Alright, I was an adult then as a young man, and I still am a young man. But it's just crazy my headspace back then to my headspace now. Because when I had replayed Silent Hill 2 was fucking, that experience was really cool, getting to play that game again after all those years, because I was coming back to that game after so many years of what I remembered it being and missing 80% of the game, and I never fully completed the original Silent Hill 2, so going back to it, finishing that game and getting the underwater ending, well, all my buddies wanted me to play, you know, Modern Warfare 2 or whatever the new game was then. You know, and I was too busy, you know, playing Silent Hill 2. And I explained that to people, and it's just like, wow, holy crap, you know, this game, it's just, when you went back and you played the original SH2, it was like, it's kind of like you were in an underground journey that, like, you know, there are people that have no idea this game exists. and that's just wild. And I'm so glad that there's some mainstream light touching this game. So I went out, I bought a PS5. I had cranked out so much overtime just to afford the console to play this game. And then obviously, I bought the game brand new. And then I bought the Silent Hill 2 exclusive headset. And I tried to get the headset to work on this console, but I just did not know how to work the console, okay? I did not know how to set this up. Now that I watched a bunch of tutorials and I've been doing a lot of reading and getting caught up to date, my intelligence has gone up quite a bit as far as the technology behind gaming goes. But here's the big thing with the PS5 is when you buy the console you gotta have games. You know what I mean? So the Dead Space remake and Silent Hill 2, as well as Silent Hill short message, Call of Duty Cold War. And now I got Resident Evil 4 remake and the Callisto Protocol. So I got some top tier. I got some top tier games. I actually like Call of Duty Cold War. I think the multiplayer and campaign are pretty good. Zombies is pretty garbage, but it's also there as just a form of entertainment. Like, if I want to experience it, if I want to play it, if I want to spend time doing something different, then it's an option because I never really played it mainstream. It was never in my roster just to play Cold War Zombies. That was never, ever a thing where I just straight up played Cold War, nothing but Cold War Zombies back to back. I played it maybe 3 or 4 times back to back with a few buddies, and then I played a few rounds solo and really tried to push in myself, and I made it to one high round, and then I just gave it up. I just put it down because it was just so linear and boring and lame. I just couldn't really handle it, oh my gosh, dude. And the days, the months leading up to this game's release, I particularly avoided any and all news and information on this game. In fact, the second I was so tempted because I wanted to watch videos on this to hear other people's thoughts, but I ultimately knew, I don't want to spoil myself in any way, so I experienced the game before watching anything, and me and my buddy, started to come up with theories, as we usually do with games. I came up with a good theory that maybe Maria is actually real, or no. My theory was all the characters, when Maria dies, she's done. Maria is the only character that can experience the other world like James, and that's why she's real. The other characters are in their own hell, but they're not real. They're parts of James' subconscious. But the more I watched videos on analyzing Silent Hill 2's, cast of characters, both Laura, Maria, Angela, and Eddie. And I kind of wish, it's just a slight caveat, I kind of do wish that there were maybe 1 or 2 more supporting cast characters, because it's just, it really, there's a lot of stories and characters in the game that aren't actual characters that you get to meet. Rather, characters you can read about through various, articles and memos and papers and stuff you can find in the game. Like Silent Hill 3, a lot of the true horror and extra experience, and a lot of the deeper double entendres, double meanings, and hidden symbolism is actually found a lot in the memos and stuff like that if you bother to take the time to read them. And back in the day, to beat Silent Hill, you had to pay attention. I mean, seriously, you had to pay attention to the shit that was going on. like you had to read, and then there would be some sort of clue to a puzzle that you'd have no idea that it was a clue to a puzzle until you saw the puzzle, and then you're like, huh, I connect that with that, and it's like, wow, you know, the level, like this game is not designed, like this puzzle solutions were not designed for people that don't pay attention, you know, and I think that's why the original games are so off-putting, is because people get they get super stuck on this level, and then they give up, they put down the game, they can't bother to pick it up and continue the game, they just want to give up, and I think that energy of just that feeling of defeat and then wanting to give up is just so boring and lame, you know, to such an extent that, you know, there's I don't know, there's just this annoyance I have with people when they just cannot finish certain things because of a minor inconvenience, because they can't pay attention to solve a puzzle or something, or they get stuck on a puzzle. We all get stuck on puzzles, man. And every game is beatable. There is a solution. You know, it's these positive things we keep telling ourselves. You know, because every game has a solution. Every puzzle has a solution. There's always an answer. There's always a way of doing it. Nothing is ever set for no random purpose unless the game was designed that way, and you would know that if that were the case. Silent Hill 2 is not so random. Things happen for a reason. It's just finding what that reason is and why. So, I really wish I knew the answer to this. We'll find out later. Yeah, man, so I gotta say it, man. Tutorial settings. Graphics, graphic mode 90s. Kind of like this gray this grayish blue dusted undertone that I just don't really seem to like all that much. Kinda like it, it's Silent Hill-esque, but I don't know, man. I like colors and differentiating things. Pixelate. Holy shit. Oh my gosh, dude, it was just like, holy crap, broski. The pixelate looks like, obviously it reminds me of, okay, whoa. It reminds me of the original Silent Hill 2. VHS. And what other one was there? Old CRT. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I. It's a combination of this and Pixelate. If you combine both of them, that's how I experienced the game. Outline and polarized. Green LUT. Oh my gosh, let's do this one. We are gonna challenge mode ourselves to experience this game like this. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, that's gonna be a fucking challenge and a half. Actually, let's play it like this real quick. Let's. Oh my gosh, dude, this is red. Okay, there's Happy Burger, so we know that. The fact that I sort of know what I'm doing is kind of concerning. Green ULT, I think is what that was called. So actually, yeah, the whole green undertone I think comes from the cover of the original game, which is green. You know, it's like this greenish blue hue that is just sort of, and I guess the coloration sort of reminds people of sickness. I don't know, it's just dirtiness as well as unclean, toxic. So it's just, ooh, with the fog, and it just blends in so well. I like this coloration, honestly. It really, it leaves everything to be just so properly addressed as far as like the graphics go. Like there's just, it feels like everything's sort of rotted away with this, not rotted away, but you know what I'm trying to say, like disgusting to even look at. Oh, wow, this is like this, but it's not too over unsettling either. Like it's just the perfect amount of everything. So much going on with this game. Anyway, guys, I hate to. Ooh, check that out. It even applies to the. To the. To that. That's really cool. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys really did enjoy. Thanks for watching.